Thank you very much. A very good afternoon to you and all our listeners. It's always good to be here.
Yes, let's talk about in Islam. What does Quran says about tithing? I don't know if you've got tithing in Islam faith and giving as well. And if it's there, how do you differentiate the two? And what is a token of giving in Islam?
Okay, thank you very much. In Islam, we are taught that giving is very important. And we are taught to be selfless. We are taught to be considerate, to always think about the next person. And in the Quran, we are taught also specifically a certain manner and way of giving, which is known as Zakaah. Zakaah means to purify. It means purity or also growth. So this giving, it will give growth to one's wealth. We are told that a person does not become poor by giving. So instead, in fact, a person's wealth grows by giving.
Okay.
And when you give, this concept of zakah, it is said that it is purification. It purifies our wealth from any other, minor wrongs that a person might have done in the course of acquiring that wealth of theirs. Because remember, we are answerable to God for how we earn our wealth. On the day of judgment, we are going to be asked about what we earned, how we earned it, and how we spent it. So if you maybe in the process of your acquiring your wealth, maybe you did something that was wrong. Maybe someone's rights were not observed. And probably you did that out of ignorance or you did not know. So it was not something that was deliberate. But a sin is still a sin. When we are giving, we are saying to the Almighty God, "Oh Almighty God, as I am giving, purify my wealth from anything that may be wrong in my wealth." Because a Muslim is a person who endeavors to consume only that which is pure, pure from anyone's blood, pure from anyone's, unfair treatment or sweat which was not properly rewarded or remunerated. So when we give our zakah, we are purifying this world. Now, it is a form of worship. When a person is giving that zakah, he must know that he is actually fulfilling a pillar of the religion of Islam. The prophetic tradition tells us that Bunyal Islamu ala khamsin. Islam is built upon 5 pillars. And the first pillar is Shahadat Allah ilaha illallah. The testimony that there is none truly worthy of being worshipped except the Almighty God. Wa iqami salah, to establish the 5 prescribed daily form of worship, which is known as salah. Wa ita is zakah, this charity of zakah is then covered as one of the pillars of Islam, amongst other pillars such as fasting and Hajj, which is visiting the house of the Almighty God in Mecca, built by Abraham and his son Ismail. So zakah is actually a pillar of Islam. So when a person fulfills this zakah, they are worshipping. That is why they must not.
There, Imam, so that we can pass by the side.
9.8, the station that begins with you.
Kabal Villa, Kalamanini, Apanduna, Regisho Jiliwa Jidiponga,
Bado mimi
Karuda,
nimefuna.
Ononga Mtengo wa Fasi, Rena Bapa Nyana
Oh,
Mkoko,
why?
Vaka half plate to the full plate, Hoko beef stew,
Why
Katina
wa-
Guru, Vaka half plate to the full plate, Rabana
Abakotodo amba.
never share social and they never food.
Abakotodo amba.
The cuts of 45 rand, one and a chips in a Russian, Vaka small, the collage, Real
Ugami.
never own, Kabar Kwame, 079. 428
Why wafuzi vakotiwa
Villa Palamanini unakawash inarali bana modoro bayambara malinga bakukuna kishoro modoro wabonga mtengo fareao kabade na musipala Kabal Villa Toyando Block L Kalamanini
99.8, the station that begins with you.
mtu abantu ndiwakonectanga yanga.
You're listening to Univen FM, the biggest frequency in the north, 99.8.
Okay. Yeah, chesi wa Univen FM, rikuri wesanga manda, wane bakutichira ino mbekenya mshimo zone zinosikala ridobari chimfula thingo bone ba disa mbudziso zabo chipinga minute ndia fumbili tano richikuri bakawara ine yabawara yeshu yabuna kaludalo bilombekenya mshimo une mchiresero toma zinonga wara yabraru wambedzana kana utoma ino nyambedzano rotumanga kutara uvaka wara ine yabaya buraro nga utoraro kwa tanganedza bote vane vakotirera ino mbekenya mshimo ninga madzina ndikadiwa mchidzi wa ramba Univen Radio 99.8 Imam where I stopped you can begin.
Okay, thank you very much. So I was just giving a preview to Zakaah, the concept of Zakaah, that when you are fulfilling this Zakaah in Islam, you must know that it is part of worship. And so when the person that you are going to be giving, don't think that you are doing them a favor. Because this person's availability for you to give them your Zakaah is actually helping you to fulfill your pillar of faith, to worship. So you must actually thank the recipients of Zakaah. And so this removes this superiority complex on the part of the giver to the recipient. And Islam teaches us that this Zakaah, how it has to be discharged, it is a certain portion from one's wealth, which is typically 2.5% of savings and assets that are given annually to specified categories of people, as outlined in the Quran in a chapter or surah that is known as Surah At-Tawbah, which is the 9th surah of the Quran, ayah or verse number 60. And so Zakah is not charity. It is actually a religious duty, and it purifies the giver's wealth, and it is also intended at reducing poverty and social inequities.
Yeah.
So when it is properly fulfilled, you will find that there is no one who is going to die of hunger when Zakah is properly given.
Yeah.
It is only given by a Muslim who has what is known as nisab, that amount of money whereupon when one possesses, Zakah becomes obligatory upon that person. And it is given to poor Muslims who are deserving of that. In fact, there are 8 categories of recipients of Zakah. So you don't just dispose of it as and how you wish. You can't be giving your wealth to the rich. We have seen some rich people, they are giving, when they are giving their whatever, their charities, they are giving to rich people. And at times we see in churches, typically what happens is, you will find this person is a rich person and he is giving to the pastor or the prophet or the religious leader who is actually very rich is not the poorest person in the church. They are giving them more. I have seen someone's birthday. The pastor, it was a pastor. It was on his birthday. Some people were coming. The other one gave the pastor on his birthday a Ferrari. The other one gave a Lamborghini. These are not the poorest people in the church. And the poor also in the church, they are also made to give something to the pastor who is way, way, way richer than them. So Islam is very specific when it comes to this issue, that this zakah is from the poor and it has to be given to those that are rich. If I am not poor, even if I am a pastor, I am an imam, I'm not allowed to accept or to take zakah. Even if I am a Muslim priest, I don't take from that. If it is given to me by somebody who doesn't know, I will make sure that I pass it to those that are deserving.
Yeah, so zakah, it's in a form of money or anything that could anyone who is poor need it.
Okay, we have to bear in mind that zakah is actually calculated on cash savings, on gold and silver.
Okay.
And it's also calculated on business inventory, on agricultural produce, on livestock in specific cases. So when the zakah is being calculated in livestock, which means if it is goats or cows or camels, then you can give a cow in zakah. You can give goats in zakah. You can give camels in zakah. When it is on agricultural produce, you may give fruit and vegetables, you may give maize meal, you may give rice, or you may give maize, you may give any agricultural produce that your zakah is being calculated upon. It may be also fruit. Maybe you are a fruit farmer. So your zakah can be calculated based on the produce that you are making. And so you will give it in that kind of commodity that you are making. So it can be given in cash or in kind, depending on what you possess. But it is also very important for us to note that this concept of zakah, it has got a lot of benefits. You know, when, let's say you are poor, I am rich. If I come to you and I give my zakat on you, I give you, let's say, money. What is your feeling going to be towards me?
I'll love you. I will like you.
You will like me because you will consider me to be somebody who is considerate, who is also aware of your condition, and who is not selfish. So what we are taught in Islam is that when you give zakah, it will remove that hatred and jealousy that exists between the rich and the poor. If you look at the poor in our societies, a lot of them, they have no kind words towards the rich of our societies. Why? Because the moment the rich become rich, they become proud, arrogant, and they start showing off to the poor. They don't share what they have. And so what happens is there is this jealousy, there is this hatred and animosity that is created between these two groups of people. But if the rich now, they are not showing off in front of the poor, they share with them whatever they have, there is going to be love, there is going to be respect. And in fact, you will see the poor people are going to be praying for the rich, that may the Almighty God continue to bless you, and may your business see unlimited growth and prosperity. Why? Because you are sharing with them.
So who must provide for unemployed imam in Islam? Let's say maybe an imam is poor. Is the people around or the people that they congregate with, who is responsible?
The first thing that we must know, I am an imam. But when I do this service, I'm not after material possessions. This is something that is voluntary, and I do it for the Almighty God with the belief that I'm not going to stay in this world forever. I'm just going to be here for a temporal period of time. But while I am here, I must endeavor and struggle to please my Lord, the Almighty God. So my service of imamat or leading the community and teaching the community is primarily for the sake of the Almighty God. He is the one who will reward me in the end. The Quran also tells us about such people who have this understanding that when they are doing whatever they are doing, they don't do it for any worldly benefit. When they are going about helping the poor and the need, they tell them that innama nut'imukum liwajhillah. Whatever we are doing it for the sake and for the pleasure of the Almighty God. Ma nuridu minkum jazaa wala shukura. In whatever we are doing, we don't want any gratitude or any thank you. If I serve my community and they don't appreciate me, it's between them and the Almighty God. My gratitude is from the Almighty God. So now the question is not directed at me. The question will be directed at my community. They are the ones that should, in their own will, at their own free will, look at the welfare of those that are serving them, to say that these people, they don't have time to go and work. Every day they are busy doing this. How can the community help them? And they help them in whatever way possible that they can. So you will find an imam in this community may be better looked after than an imam in another community. Why? Because the communities are not the same.
Yeah.
In a well-to-do community, the community will obviously be in a position to provide more to that imam. But in a community that is not so well-to-do, the imam must not impose upon them to say that, you must give me 100,000, you must give me 10,000, you must give me this much amount. Otherwise, you are not grateful, and then you start, taking lightly your work. No. Firstly, the imam must understand that he is not doing this work for these people. He is doing it for the Almighty God. But the community must also understand that this person is serving us. We ought to thank those that serve us.
Yeah. So let's still on giving perspective on Islam. Let's say maybe an Islam person, because you are ought to give, if you are rich, you are ought to give the poor. Are you ought to give the poor in Islam only, or you can just give anyone?
There are different types of giving. Remember I said the Zakaah, that was the first category.
Yeah.
It is a giving by a rich Muslim to a poor Muslim, and the amount is specified. When it comes to monetary value, it is 2.5% of whatever you have. Let's say of your savings. If I have 100,000 in my savings account and I am eligible of paying Zakah, then I will say 2.5% of 100,000, which is 2,500. I'll take the 2,500 and give it to the deserving people who are Muslims. So Zakah is by Muslim to Muslims, except in certain instances. Then there are other types of giving, like Sadaqah. Sadaqah is now general giving. You can give anyone, your neighbors, your friends, your relatives. You can give people who are in need of some assistance. And there is also what is known as lillah. This is unlimited giving, which can be given even to a rich person. If I like a person, you are well to do, but I'm giving you this gift of something, or here is some cash money, or here is some item that I purchased and I give you as a present to you. It's okay. So we have different types of giving. But when we are giving, we are told in Islam that there are certain conditions of giving. Number one, the giving must be motivated by the Almighty God. It must be done for the sake of the Almighty God, not for the sake of fame and show. Why? Because on the day of judgment, if your giving is based on show, you are giving so that people can say this one and that one is a giver. You are giving because you want people to vote for you. You are giving because you want people to forget about your gerenga and your criminal activities, and you want people to be merciful to you. So you are buying people, you are not giving. So on the day of judgment, we are told that the Almighty God is not going to reward us. He is going to direct us back to those people whom we gave for their sake and say, go and claim your reward from those people. But if we gave for his sake, then he is the reward of our giving.
So let's talk about giving out while people are watching. There are a lot of people who gives out food, who gives out clothes, who gives out money while other people are looking on social media. In Islam, how do you rate that one? Is it giving out of love? Is it giving out of God's love, or it's not part of giving anyway?
Islam teaches us that the best type of giving is the giving wherein your left hand does not know what your right hand has given. Because when we look at giving, the Quran talks about another category of people. It says that la yas'aluna nasa ilkhafa. There are some people in our communities, in our societies, who do not ask people for assistance out of self-restraint. The person doesn't have, but the person is somebody who has got self-respect, who is shy, he can't go out asking. It is our duty and responsibility to look for these people, and in a dignified and respectful way, we give them and we help them. But after having said that, it does not mean that when you give openly, then it is always wrong. Sometimes there are times when it is recommended to give secretly, and there are times when it is recommended to give openly. Then we can give examples. Sometimes we have to give openly in order to encourage other people to say that, please, we must give. We have seen in certain communities where some individuals or some groupings or some entities started giving openly. We saw some people followed suit. They were touched by what they saw, and they followed suit. They started also giving. So it's always an issue wherein we have to look every case according to its own merit. We cannot have a blanket ruling to say that every charity that is given openly, no, it is done for show and for pomp and for, just to be called that we are givers. We have to look at the condition of the giver, and it is half the case the giver who knows. We, the recipient and the onlookers, we cannot tell whether this person is giving for show or for just for pomposity or for out of pride. But the person
Meaning
themselves,
that it has to be within
yes,
the
you as the giver, when we are talking, we must talk, our talk must be directed at the givers to say that when you are giving, please bear in mind certain guidelines. Number one, don't give in such a way that you are also going to take away the dignity and honor of the recipient. Sometimes some people, in order for them to give you, you have to be embarrassed. You have to be humiliated only to be given just a small item which is not going to last you for long. No, when we are giving, we must make sure that we give in a respectful and honorable way.
To get this one clear, you said that 2.5 of what you receive as a rich man or a rich person, you need to give it out to the poor. So is it a must? Is it a rule? Is it you are ought to give? Or if you don't give, what must happen?
No, now, if you don't give zakah, when you are poor, when you are a rich Muslim and you don't give your zakah, then you have declared war with the Almighty God. Because this is an instruction of the Almighty God. And the Almighty God has told you to do something and you say, no, I'm not going to do it. So you are not fighting the poor people. The poor people have no say on this. It is the Almighty God who is going to fight with you and deal with you. So that is why in Islamic history we have known, when you read about the Khalifa known as Abu Bakr, he said that he declared war on those rich people who withhold their zakah. Why? Because it is not yours. Our Islamic understanding of this zakah amount, when I have it, it's not mine. I have to give it away. So I don't have an opinion regarding this. I have to give it. I have no option. If I don't, then I have to prepare for war against the Almighty God.
Yeah, that was clear, Imam. Thank you so much. Zozona mchiresiwa Univen FM liminete mitano rishkori baka wara ine yava ligatori ya sumbe ulibaka wara yabuna mbege mchimwe shikadiba religious talk. Auna jumene ngama zina nikadiba